Hello, everybody. It is Neil Winteregg with Matterhorn Business Development, joined as always by Dr. Greg Winteregg, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development. We are going to patent the thumbs up for Greg if we could. Uh, that's the go-to move.
That's right.
Ding! We have a lot
Ooh,
of
I'm
fun
live.
making. Yeah, we're live. Yeah, we're
We're
good.
live. How about that?
Yeah, this is our first official live stream with me and you. I think you and Abby have done live streams just for the people that are part of our Adventure to Profit program.
That's right.
But I don't think we've done a Facebook live like this before.
No, not a
Or
Greg and Neil rant.
yeah, we are live right now as far as I know on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you are joining us on any of those areas, please feel free to leave some comments down below. Or if you're watching this on a delay or you're watching this after the fact, welcome. We want to start doing some more live stuff. We want to put in maybe 2 to 3 YouTube videos a week that are pre-recorded, and then we want to start doing a weekly live stream and maybe even have guests or friends of ours that are entrepreneurs. With this streaming system that we have here, I think we can have 10 different people on at once. We obviously wouldn't get that big because I find that quite annoying, actually. But anyway, we are here. We honestly don't have an agenda, believe it or not. Pretty much every time we sit down to film or do something, we really never know what we're going to talk about.
I was going to
Which,
say, Neil, do we ever have an agenda?
well, some people are going to go, well, that's obvious. Um, but
Our true fans, though, will say, that's amazing.
that's unbelievable.
No way.
No, we honestly show up with a couple of topics to talk about when we sit down to film. We film on Mondays, and a lot of times we say, "Oh yeah," on Friday at staff meeting. "Oh yeah, I'll show up Monday with some topics," and then we can't come up with anything, and or there's terrible news articles. Which lately, the talking about business news on the newsroom has been basically impossible for like 4 months now. I mean, it has just been one big pile of crap that has
Nothing
been
but COVID and politics.
COVID and politics, and everything that they're talking about is crap, and it's just been stupid. I mean, you go to businessinsider.com right now and there's nothing about business. It just pisses me off.
Yeah.
So anyway, we show up on Mondays. We never know really what we're going to film about. I'll surprise him with a topic. And then really what you're seeing on camera is just us being us. And you and I have been working together since I was 16.
Yep.
You taught me how to sell. You taught me how to do public speaking, which, by the way, I have to tell everybody, Greg's, how you introduced me to public speaking, because you know exactly what I'm going to say.
Before you tell the story, I just want to say it's a good thing I wasn't in charge of your swimming lessons.
Why is that?
I
Because you
just
can't
wanted to
swim?
keep it and say, figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's basically what you did with everything else.
Hey, go ahead and tell your story.
So we're doing a seminar. This had to have been, now I had done a few light things of public speaking, but never like a big official public speaking thing. And I don't know. What's that?
In front of doctors.
Yeah, in front of professionals, doctors. So we're doing this seminar. It's like 6, 7 years ago. We're doing a seminar to over 100 people at that point. It was in Costa Mesa, California. And normally when my dad talks, he talks for the first hour to hour and a half at this particular seminar, and then a secondary speaker would come for like 45 minutes so that he could have a break and so that we could introduce somebody else who's going to be doing the delivery for that weekend. And seminar starts at 9 o'clock. I've got 100 people in the seats. Now, obviously, there's other staff. There's probably 7 of us there. And I've got everybody seated. I'm doing my thing. I'm working the room like I do. It's like 8:59. Somebody's doing the introduction of my dad. And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, yeah, you're speaking at 10," and just walks on stage. So now I have an hour to figure out what the hell am I going to talk about. Now, it was a topic I know very well, and it was something I've seen him do a million times, probably literally. And here I am. I go up and I do this lecture, and I think it sucks. I'm up there and I'm like, this is the worst lecture anybody's ever done. I'm just like in my head. And so I get off stage, you go back up, talk till noon, then comes lunchtime, we're meeting people. And I had like 15 people come up to me and go like, man, you're such a good speaker. That's amazing. And I'm like, okay, thanks, and somebody I knew who was in the room, who wasn't like just somebody I'm meeting for the first time, comes up and starts saying, you're a good speaker and your dad taught you a lot. And I said, well, the truth is that's my first time ever doing it. And they were like, what? So that's how I got started with public speaking. Then ever since then, I basically kicked him off the road, picked up all of his speaking duties,
That is
and
true.
it sucked this year not being able to do a public lecture. I spoke
Yeah.
in the beginning of March. I did a seminar in Montreal and in Boston, and then it was nothing. It was all virtual, which is not nearly the same. And so I got to do a few months ago a small talk to about 15 people at a networking thing that I'm a part of. I got to do like a 10 or 15-minute talk and it like blew my mind. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I love this. And it's like, oh, I can't wait till next year comes around when I can actually, you know, do some real lecturing to real people again.
Yeah, not to a computer screen.
And it sucks doing it to a computer screen. It's fun. But right now, you and I don't feel like I'm talking to a computer screen because really this is just you and I having a normal conversation anyway.
Yep.
So anyway, now that my 7-minute introduction is over with, I did want to talk about some customer service points for people that are watching. Again, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later through one of the platforms we're streaming on, welcome. If you're live, leave some comments in the comment boxes. We're using a stream software and we can see all of the comments. I don't know if there's a delay, so if I get to you later, that's fine. But how about we talk about some customer service stuff really quick?
Yeah, that's a
You
good
good with
place.
that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Customer service is the easiest place to beat your competition.
Well, it's easy, and for me, customer service is easy because I just am kind of myself. Now, okay, I'll phrase that. I usually tone myself down, but I always do what I think is the right thing or what I would want as the customer. So I have an example of that made me some money this last week that I wanted to share as a just a point, right? So obviously Dad, but the other people don't know that on the side I have another business selling home and pool filtration systems. I teamed up with a guy here locally who was actually a Matterhorn client for a while. We helped him get some things squared away in his business a year or two ago. We've known him for 14 years. He's a friend of ours. His name is Jeff, the pool guy. And so in July, with me not traveling anymore doing lectures, I had 2-3 days a week that used to be packed. And now I'm like doing nothing. And it was in the middle of the quarantine stuff or it just ending. So I reached out to my friend Jeff. I said, hey, man, I know a lot of people who need some home filtration stuff, pool filtration. It's a very special pool system we have. It has no chlorine or chemicals in it. So it's a very niche product. And so I started working with him in August and we started working together and I started bringing business to the table. And me and my wife did a Facebook video where we made it sound like we were announcing that we were having a baby. And we announced that we were starting a business. And that actually got us our first 3 customers. True statement. And so in September, I teamed up with a home builder that works with my brother and his design company. And told him about what we do, and he said, you know what? I've got this big house I'm working on. It's got a messed up pool. I've never done anything with pools before. The homeowners, we already know it's a long home project, but basically when the home is done, we know they're going to put our pool system on it, but it's like 6 months away or whatever. But he's like, can you come and look at this pool and tell me what to expect when I bring professionals out here to renovate it and do all this crap? Because he's like, I don't know anything about pools. So I brought Jeff out. He's been working with pools since before I was born. Because he just wanted like an honest opinion of like, if I call up a pool company to come out here, what should I actually ask them to do or look for or whatever? He knows nothing about pools. So they could come out and say, do this, do that. and he wouldn't even know that it was wrong, or he could
Right.
spend
He can be taken advantage of.
yeah, get taken advantage of, and he doesn't want to cost his clients money. So we go out there, we look at this pool project. It's a bit of a disaster, and we show them everything that they're going to need to watch out for, do whatever. And so as we're leaving, the contractor goes, "Hey, I got some other clients that live on this same street. They just closed on this house recently. It has a pool in it, and the homeowner says he has a problem with chlorine pools. He wants, and I told him about what you do with chemical-free pools, no salt, no nothing. Would you mind? They're out of town, but would you mind looking at this pool? And then I can tell him what it's going to take to get it working because the pump was leaking. It had issues. They just closed on this house, right?
Now
So
here, just so we're clear, when you say you, you're not talking about you, me, Greg. You're talking about Jeff, the pool guy.
yeah, Jeff the
Yep.
pool guy. Yep.
Yep.
So yep, Jeff the pool guy. So me and Jeff go out to this house and we go in the back to look at this pool. And again, the homeowners are out of town. They're in California, whatever. And we get back there and the pool has serious problems like right now. Like A, the pool pump is leaking constantly, which is a problem. But B, it's green. And that's not good.
That's not a good thing.
So I told the contractor, said, listen, this is not good to leave this way. He couldn't reach them. We don't know if they have a pool company that comes out to take care of it or not, but there is a massive green pool that in another few days could be really, really toxic and really, really bad. So me and Jeff, the pool guy, run out. We buy some products to throw into this pool, and we spend about an hour and a half pouring stuff in, cleaning it, vacuuming it. There's bamboo trees all along the property. And so all the filters, pumps, the vacuum that runs along there, I was pulling handfuls of bamboo out of the hoses.
Everything
Right?
was plugged.
Everything was clogged. So we spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours cleaning this whole thing up. And I sent the homeowners, the contractor gave me the contact information of the homeowners, and I wrote up a 2-page Word document. I spent half an hour researching things, and I typed up this 2-page document telling them what we did and why. Because I went in there and I turned off equipment. I did a whole bunch of stuff that, you know, I didn't know if they'd be happy or not. You know what I mean?
And you did this without a proposal, without getting paid, actually without their permission.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it. We saw that something needed to happen, so we just acted on it and we took care of it. And we at least got rid of some of the green and some of the other stuff, whatever, right? So I sent up like a 2-page write up to these guys, and I told them what we did and why and what our system does and what the difference is and all this other stuff. That was in September 29th. So since then, I've had no communication from them. And I asked the contractor a few times, hey, are those people back in town? Yeah, they're in town, but they're traveling. They're busy. They're this, they're that. Blah, blah. So on last Monday, the 21st, I'm outside grilling up some lunch at my house, and my phone rings, and I pick it up, and it's this homeowner.
Now, you guys did all this work, and they talked to you, text you, thank you.
I didn't get anything. I just talked to the contractor, and the contractor told me, yeah, they had somebody come out. The pool maintenance company came out and changed the pump, and but that's all I knew, right?
Okay.
So the homeowner calls me on Monday for the first time, 3 months later.
Wow.
And he goes, hey, I just have to thank you for doing what you did. I got your whole 2-page thing, and you sent us 20 pictures, and we were shocked when we were in California and we saw this, whatever. Da, 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 da. So we ended up talking for about a half an hour, and he wants to buy one of our pool systems, but it's kind of cold here in Florida, relatively speaking. And they're still traveling a lot between California, and he's not using the pool a lot, but he wanted to buy our home system because he wanted the filtration and the drinking water and everything else. So Christmas Eve, he says, yeah, let's do it. And we sold him a home system. And next year, we're going to sell him a pool system. But I'll tell you, it was one of the easiest sales that you can do.
Sure.
It was a half an hour of my time. I never even met them. I drove over to their house on Christmas Eve, an hour before they were going to the airport, just so I could take pictures of where we're going to install the equipment. But that was the first time I'd ever met them. They'd already paid. They had already wanted it. We never met face to face. It was one phone call and one text message that said, yeah, let's do it.
And how much was the system that they needed?
Around $4,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's about a $4,000 home system, which will lead into a pool system, which is more expensive, but amazing and one of a kind. And he can't use his pool because he's allergic to chlorine. So, you know, you have this house that you bought with a pool and you can't use it, right?
Right.
So you invest some money into equipment that lasts 10 years that you can use your pool whenever you want. So it was just such an easy sale, but it was because I put the customer first before I even met the customer.
Right.
You know, I never had talked to them. I was just at this house and I said, you know, we got to do something about this or else
And
what's
I'm
going to
curious,
happen?
how much did the chemicals cost you that you and Jeff used that day, September 29th?
$7.
Oh, that's all it was?
Yeah. I
It was
mean,
nothing.
it was time, you know,
Yeah.
we were there for an hour and a half or whatever it was. And then I spent a half an hour doing some research and typing up some information for them. But that's all it took was that act of actually caring about the person.
Well, the interesting thing is that you were kind of in a little bit of a mystery after you did it. I guess you knew that they weren't upset because the contractor would
Yeah.
have told you.
Yeah.
And also, it's just curious that, they didn't respond to the email or call or whatever. But
Yeah.
also, the really cool thing is you and Jeff, I want to acknowledge you guys. You didn't do it to get an acknowledgement. You didn't do it to get a reward. You actually
No.
didn't do it to sell the next system. You did it because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. I even had somebody later after I told them I cleaned up this pool, you know, oh, so how much do you bill them for? And I was like, I don't bill them for anything. And it was kind of foreign to that person that like I would do that and then not even be like, here's a bill. Like
Right.
I'm not going to go to your house and paint it and then send you a bill in the mail. You know what I mean? Like that's one business plan, but I don't think it's the correct business plan. You know what I mean? You know, if you've got leaves in your yard and somebody rakes it and goes, "Oh yeah, here's a fee for my services." You're like, "What the hell is that?" You know? I just did the right action and they were happy
No,
enough
that's
that they called me later and said, "Let's do it." And you
that's
know
a
what?
great story.
I know I'll get another sale from them later,
Mhm.
and I bet you I get a referral from them as well.
Of course.
So,
But it's about doing the right thing.
yeah.
That's just all it's about. Is just doing the right thing, treating other people the way that you want to be treated. And what I have seen, and I'm sure the watchers, the listeners have seen it also, is many business owners think the way that they're going to make a profit is by skimping somewhere.
Right.
So charging more than what is the quality of what is being delivered, or poor customer service, or no customer service because you can't afford the time for the customer service. And so that's what I meant earlier when I said customer service is generally the easiest place to beat the competition, because people are generally, many business owners focus on something else. How do we do it cheaper? How do we pay the staff less, not more? How do we skimp on this? No paid holidays around here. And so those kind of actions don't foster better customer service.
Yeah, and you know it's interesting though is that as an entrepreneur who works out of his kitchen table with this water business, what's interesting about that is let's say I have an employee and my employee goes out to this house and sees a green pool and I'm paying him hourly wages. And
Mm-hmm.
he calls me and he goes, Neil, this pool is jacked up. You know, I need a couple hours to fix this thing. The immediate thought of the business owner is, I'm not paying you $20 an hour to clean up some pool, and I don't even know who owns the house.
Right.
I don't know their name. I don't know anything. I'm just taking it off the word of this contractor who said, "Yeah, can you check out this pool for us?" Most business owners would say, "Oh, F that. Don't worry,
Right.
try and get the homeowner on the phone and charge them $300,
Right.
for $6 worth of product and $30 of the employee's time or whatever."
Yeah.
But being an entrepreneur, you actually have some flexibility because I didn't have anything else going that day that I had to be
Right.
at. I wasn't like, you know, in fact, we even left and came back a couple hours later before we even actually cleaned it. You know what I mean? Like we had the time and so we
Yeah.
took care of it. But the business owner gets so caught up in the the minutia of everything that they
Yep.
wouldn't see that as like a, yeah, go take care of it and I'm sure it's going to pay off later.
Yep.
And there's a fine line because sometimes you can't just go around cleaning everybody's pools and hope that somebody pays you. But I have that flexibility because I work for me and I get to do what I want to do,
Hmm.
which is just a different, it's kind of, there's two sides of the coin there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a in the networking group that you were talking about, there's a contractor, and the tagline of their company is beautiful. The tagline is, "Our specialty is your satisfaction."
Hmm.
And he had a similar story that he told a few weeks ago at our network meeting, where just a random act of charity and kindness, um, not looking for anything back in return. And I don't know if he got anything back in return, but I guess my point here is, if you're bringing that kind of attitude to the table without an invoice attached to it,
Yeah.
that that's always going to pay off.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always going to pay off. Now,
And
you can't, and I just want to
yeah,
slip
yeah.
this comment in at this point. That does not mean, when you're making proposals and such, that you need to be giving everything away. It's an
Correct.
entirely different activity.
Yeah.
So, and we've done several videos on this, and I don't know if it kind of merges together at this moment or not. But what you're talking about doing is spending your time, or you'd even be willing to pay your staff a couple of hours to do what you did there, as a good gesture. But then on the flip side of that, you have to be charging at what I believe is a stellar rate, a better than average rate, which gives you then the flexibility to be able to do what you did. It
Yeah.
would give you the flexibility and the profit to be able to pay a staff member $30 or $40 to go and do that, versus being worried about covering payroll on Friday, and we're not doing anything that's not attached to an invoice, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to be careful that people don't uh, misinterpret this as like, oh, we're just going to run around the neighborhood giving everything away.
No, exactly.
That's a promotional activity. It's a public relations activity. It was not a cold it was not a
Right.
cold lead. It was a referral.
I didn't hop a fence
Right,
and I didn't
right,
fly a drone around the neighborhood looking for green swimming pools. You know what I mean?
right, exactly.
I was
So
taking care of a customer of a referral source.
yeah,
I was taking care of a person that could buy something for me, maybe not, right?
yeah,
And I was just doing what I thought was the right thing to do at that time.
mhm,
And, if let's say I did have a really big company and I was really busy, right? I could have said to the contractor, "Hey man, we want to take care of this pool. Get in touch with the homeowners right away. Tell them that this has to change. It's going to be $100, $150, and maybe 24 hours goes by, 48 hours goes by, and then they say yes." But because I didn't know if they had a pool company or somebody taking care of it for them, that just
right.
whatever. I could just tell that it had issues or whatever, right? But the other way that I look at it is every time we do this at Matterhorn, and I do this in my water business, is every time I sign up a new client, I give them a gift. I give them something. So
Mhm.
I already have 50, $60, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on what somebody's doing, already set aside to buy them a gift.
Mhm.
So, okay, that was their gift. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, right.
you can look at it either way from that regard. Like
Yep.
buying people a Yeti has made me a lot of money in the water business, just as, hey, this is for you, and they love it, and
Mhm.
I go to their homes and they're drinking all their water out of the Yeti that I bought them. Like you can look at it a few different ways. So for
But,
me,
but
it was,
circling back around, we're always trying. I think everyone in business is trying to make themselves perceived as being different from the competition,
yeah,
and there's many ways to do that. You can have your price be lower. You can promote more. You can have, I don't know, a better website. I mean, we're always trying to make ourselves different from the competition. But I think stellar customer service is the easiest way to make yourself different from the competition. I remember when Vince, with his cabinet company, moved down here in 2014 from Virginia, and he had his going concern up there, but the school system wasn't exactly what they wanted, and there was a better school system down here, closer to family, etc. So he had to come down here and start over. And he had a realtor and two contractors tell him, because he was a little concerned, like he was not a dealer, he had to get his dealership established, etc. But he had a real estate agent and two contractors say, listen, all you have to do to flourish in this kitchen remodeling industry is two things: return your phone calls and do what you say.
Yep.
And that's what he's done, and he has a successful business, etc. But it's kind of sad that that's
the winning advice.
Yeah, that's the winning advice. Just return a phone call and do what you say. I mean, it's sad that makes you different.
Yeah. I have a friend who's a painter, and not only are people amazed that he showed up on time, they're even more amazed that he was there 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
Because they just always expect, it's like, the cable company, oh, we're going to be there between 8 and 5. Oh, great. You just never know when something's going to come through. Well, if you're in an industry and that's all you have to do to be successful, it should be pretty easy to be pretty successful. Right off of the bat there, but it's so funny because these these industries are just loaded with people. See, you and I think that that's just like common knowledge and that's obvious. And everybody says, yeah, but that's obvious. But obviously that's not what people are doing, because that is the advice that's going out there.
Mm-hmm. So we got a comment that came in. Now, I want to just say something. The first comment that came in at 7:16.
Yeah.
Can you read that comment?
Well, the name is in Russian from the looks of it, and it looks like it's a peace sign. So,
oh, I see the symbol now.
Yeah, okay, I think it's a peace sign. But on Facebook, we have a question from Vinay Roma. I think he's saying, how can I hold my clients not to escape for attractive other offers? Probably my team gives the best to them with low profits. Okay, so
you have to decide. I'm going to take that one on for a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so you have to decide what your position is in the marketplace. If you look, let's say there's a three-lane highway, and in the far right lane are going to be the big semi trucks. That's where they're supposed to be. And in the middle lane would usually be passenger cars moving at somewhere near the speed limit. And then generally the outside lane is for cars who are probably exceeding the speed limit, don't care if they get a ticket, whatever. But each lane of traffic kind of has its designated position, speed, type of vehicle in the lane. So then you have to decide what is your lane. You have to decide, like, what is the product that you're delivering? What is going to be its price? Who's your targeted market? Because a big mistake that many business owners make is they try to deliver the Hilton and the Waldorf Astoria, the Ritz-Carlton quality, and then try to beat the competition on price. And so you can't be delivering the Ritz-Carlton quality on a Motel 6 price. And by survey, and I won't get into all the details of the survey that I did a few years ago, 39% of the people I surveyed wanted, as far as what was most important to them when they were buying something, they wanted the sales rep to be friendly and knowledgeable. And then 19% wanted product knowledge, technical information, so they knew they were making the right purchase. And then only 6% were concerned about price. Now, that 6% who are concerned about price generally make a lot of noise. And they're like, oh, this is outrageous. Your prices are outrageous. When you know that they're not, but they make a big deal about it. And for them, it's a game to just get the product at the lower price. And something that, I taught you early on, Neil, and you have no problem saying to somebody, if you're looking for the cheapest guy in town, I'm not your man. And so you cannot be like if you are charging a price and you are certain that your product is worth that price or more, then if somebody wants it cheaper somewhere, you have to be totally comfortable with them going someplace else and getting it cheaper. And we've all experienced this customer that was kind of cranky, thinking they were paying too much, leaving. And then within 6 or 12 months, or maybe a couple of years, they kind of circle back around because they found out that they got what they paid for with the cheaper product. So, as far as like trying to hang on to the clients so they don't escape a more attractive offer, your offer is your offer. And as long as you've got that product priced so that it's a good service for the customer, and there's a profit in you so that you can take care of that customer. Like Neil, you were saying how you've got $50 or $60 already set aside in an account for the next new customer. So you're all ready to go. Not a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I mean, that to me is part of the customer service aspect that keeps people with you, is doing what you say you're going to do and then making the experience as good as you can for them. Now, Vinay, I don't know what industry you're in, so it's hard for me to nail down into specifics, but let's use two different examples. So let's say I sell basketballs in my store and your store is across the street and you sell basketballs and they're the same basketballs. Well, it's going to be hard to not convince people to go across the street and buy the basketball from me cheaper because it's the same product, and they might hate coming into my store, and the people that work the cash register might be crap, but they're like, well, I'm going to save $5 and all I have to do is put up with this crap customer service and I'm going to save $5. If that's the case, there might not be a whole lot that you can do to prevent people from going across the street and buying basketballs from me. But you can try and hire the best people and deliver as good of a product as you can, and exchange the basketball after its warranty period because it did have a problem, so you go the extra mile. Or it's if it's a retail thing where you and I are selling the same thing, the only thing that you can do is have a smile on your face and thank customers when they come in and when they come out, and talk to them and find out why they want the basketball, and just take an interest in that product and their needs to make them feel like, well, this is way better than the cashier across the street who just wants me to get the heck out of the store and wishes I hadn't even walked in. I'd rather pay an extra $5 for the same basketball. But if you're talking about an industry, like we'll take my water business, I'm not the only guy who sells water systems. Mine is different from the other ones that are out there in subtle ways. My price is middle of the road. I have somebody that's a lot more expensive for something that doesn't work. And then I also have the bigger companies like Pelican and places that you go to Home Depot to buy. And if you just looked at the information sheets, they would look the same. And the one at Home Depot is half the price of mine. So, what do I do? Well, if you go to Home Depot to buy water filtration, you're not going to get your questions answered. Somebody's not going to come out to your house. Somebody's not going to buy you a Yeti water filter. Somebody's not going to follow up with you a few days later and make sure it's working. So I use my superior sales ability from my competition, but also just my general overall demeanor and appreciation, and buying them a little gift as a token of my appreciation. And if there's ever a problem, taking care of it. We have a couple of problems every now and then with a little thing. Oh, that's not fitting right, or that's not working. That's weird. We're going to come out and put a new one in. Okay. I just try and use that as a way to make myself different from somebody who's just going to send a service technician over, who opens the door, goes under your sink, changes something out, and walks out the door 5 minutes later and doesn't even say anything. I'll spend an hour just BSing with people and hanging out and learning about them and talking to them, and you know, because I'm genuinely interested in them.
Mhm.
And that is the difference between real salesmen and fake salesmen. You know, go look at the Wolf of Wall Street or these other sales movies. These guys are smooth talkers. They get people to like them, but they get people to like them because they are good at faking their interest in other people. My whole goal is to be literally as interested as I can in what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and learn about them and learn about where they're from their culture. You know, when we were working with dentists, so when I first started working with dentists in 2002, I think I started working with dentists. I was 16 or so. You know, we joke around. It was all old white guys coming to our meetings. Uh, that was all the dentists were. They were all
Yep.
white guys, old fuddy duddies.
Yeah.
And throughout the years, I started getting people from Korea, from China, from Taiwan, from Iran, from Iraq, from Egypt, from Africa. And so what I started doing was learning about them, where they're from. I know people who escaped on a inflatable raft in the middle of the night while being shot at by AK-47s to flee communist Vietnam. And I sit there and talk to them about that for an hour.
Yeah.
And then when I meet the next guy from Vietnam, I know something about Vietnam, and I know something about India, and I know something about the culture, and I know more about them. And people go, like, it's amazing when I meet somebody from Russia or India or whatever, and I can pronounce their last name. They're like, how did you do that? Or somebody goes, oh yeah, I'm from Russia. And I'm like, you're not from Russia. Where are you really from? Like, well, I'm from Ukraine. I'm like, I know you're from the Ukraine. How did you know that? Well, your last name. Like, I could spot that, and they're like, damn, this guy knows his shit, right? Well, that's because I take time to listen and understand different people. And so if you can do that with, we're still talking about Vinay's question here, but if you can do that in any industry, actually sit down and listen and talk to people and understand who they are, it doesn't matter how much the competition's product is at that point.
Right.
And if they don't want to buy from me, fine, no problem. They won't have to buy from me. But you know what? If somebody doesn't buy a water system from me or whatever it is I'm selling, because I have a few different things I'm in, somebody doesn't buy one of my products, goes somewhere else, has a bad experience, and then has a friend say, hey, how did you get that? Say, well, I went to Home Depot and bought it, but I wish I hadn't. You should have talked to this guy. Okay, I'll get a sale from that.
Mhm.
You know, that's the way I look at it. So Vinay says he's from Italy. So welcome all the way from Italy. I don't know what time it is over there, but you're up early. You're drinking a lot of espresso today. Uh, so, you know, that's kind of like from a customer service perspective, you know, and the other thing I'll say, Vinay, if a customer wants to leave you strictly because of price point, don't let the door hit them on the
Let
ass on
them
the way
go.
out.
Let
Just
them go.
who effing cares, man?
Yeah.
It just, there's so many other fish out there. There's so many other people who need your product out there.
Move on.
You know, unless you're a business consultant for, you know, a company that manufactures, you know, horse whips, and you've got 5 potential customers in the whole country of Italy or something. I don't know. You know, um, just let them go. Let them do something else.
Well, and maybe another way to say what I'm trying to say is add more value. Like if you look at the basketball business
Yeah.
example, so it's Nike makes the basketball. We have 2 stores across the street from each other that sell the basketball. But
Hmm.
then if you want to charge $5 more for the basketball, then how can you create more value? Well, what I would do is I would take my parking lot, and in the summer I'd turn it into a basketball court or 2 basketball courts, and I would have a basketball league, and people could come into the basketball league for $5. And while they're playing basketball, you know, they're going to come into my store and buy basketballs and shoes. And so I'm going to add more value to my store. The product is the same, but how can I out compete? How can I out deliver the competition and be able to charge more for the product, maybe as much 25 or 50% more.
A good example I just thought of is, Dad, we have a friend who has some businesses in another country that he started. And in this place, everybody loves basketball and they love shoes and they love getting their hair done. So what did he do? He created one place where you could come and buy your basketballs, buy your shoes, and have a barber shop in there.
Yep.
And I'm sure he's expanded out in other ways.
And play the NBA on Nintendo while waiting to get your haircut.
Yeah. So yeah. So
it's about adding value. It's becoming more interesting. It's not about the price. It's about how do you make your product or your service more valuable? Mm-hmm. By delivering it faster, by delivering it a higher quality than what they expect. Just how you have to start to figure out, how do I make myself more valuable to the customer than my competition? And if you start to ask that question rather than how can I do it cheaper, that's the wrong question. Yeah. How can I do it cheaper is the wrong question. The right question is, how do I make my customer experience more valuable than the competitor's customer experience? And if you ask that question, then all of a sudden you'll start to get a lot of ideas, and it's going to be very easy to make yourself different from the competition.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something that's interesting. You're welcome, Vinay. He says he's impressed. Now I'm feeling that I'm going in the right way. Thanks. I'll tell you an interesting thing about the business I started with the water, since I've only been doing it for 5 months now. I could actually raise my prices based off of my competition. We could raise our prices by probably 25%.
And still be cheaper?
Probably, yeah. We could still be cheaper. But me and my partner, who manufactures this and designs it and all that kind of stuff, he's this genius. Neither one of us is like interested in even raising the prices.
Right.
You know, we've talked about it. Fair. Right now, it's a fair price. It's a great price. And I like selling it at that price.
Yeah.
And I don't like actually overselling it, you know? And I think that that type of a mentality is probably pretty weird to some business people. Mm-hmm. But I sell it for what I want to sell it for, and at a price that makes a lot of sense to me and for my business partner. And we're both totally happy with it. So, you know, I sell it at a lower cost than I probably could, and I buy a $50 Yeti or whatever, a gift for whoever it is I'm buying it for, and I'm happy. They love it. I'm getting referrals. I don't know. That's just the way I go about the customer service aspect of it.
Yep.
And that's what we tell all of our clients to do too. And I think sometimes people think that business coaches and mentors and whatever are just a bunch of crap, but we actually apply our own philosophies, and what we're delivering to our client is really our own philosophy of customer service or of business. Yep. And that's just what we teach, and that's what we like to do, is just do those types of things.
Yep.
So I don't know.
No, I think it's been a great topic, and you made a very good point. So at least for a few people online here, it looks like we've connected with them and helped them tonight, which is fun.
Yeah, if anybody else has any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. Or if you're watching this on later and you've made it this 45 minutes, then congratulations. Think about subscribing to the channel, sharing the channel with your friends. Before we go, let's talk a few minutes, Dad, about our YouTube experience.
Yes.
It's been a lot of fun, actually. Mm-hmm. So I've got our YouTube channel here. So we passed 3,200 subscribers yesterday.
Yep.
We're at 3,227 right now. And before the coronavirus lockdown crap, we had this board in our office, a thermometer, and we had dates next to our milestones. And then it stopped, and we all left our office because we couldn't even go there for 3 or 4 months or whatever it was. Then we go back, and we laughed because we were at like 850 subscribers. and we were trying to get to 1,000. That was our big point.
That was
And
March the 13th.
yeah, so then we came back a few months later, and we were at over 2,000, I think, at that point.
Yep.
So we actually grew quite a bit this year, which was awesome. I think
Yeah,
we
we've actually
started,
quadrupled during COVID.
I think so,
Yeah.
something like that. But we have a lot of really cool stuff planned. When we started YouTube, I don't know if any of us ever thought we would hit 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, or, I remember when we hit 100,
Yeah, we
me
got
and Ab,
excited.
yeah, we were like calling everybody we knew. Hey, you're a
When we
business
stuck at,
owner. You
when
got
we
to
stuck
subscribe to
at
our YouTube
99,
channel.
didn't we get stuck at 99 for a couple of days? And we're gonna we have to get grandma or somebody.
Yeah, Grandma was already subscribed, and
We can
Mom
hit
was
100.
already subscribed. But we this live stream here is kind of a test. You and I would like to be doing a podcast type thing every week.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're kind of doing this to see what kind of interaction we get or whatever. But we do 3 videos a week, and some hit, some don't. I always joke, if you go through our videos, watch the ones with the lowest views, because they're probably the best ones. We probably put more information into those than any other one, and there's just no way to make it sound sexy in the title. You
Right.
know, there's no way to get it to hit in the YouTube algorithm, because there's 500 million videos about motivating yourself every day. And so it's like,
Right.
well, how do I make this different? Um, so go through and watch some of our smaller videos, and 50 views, 60 views. We've got some good ones that have done well. I'm not going to say that they
But
haven't, but
we have some great playlists. My book, Fun at Work, we've got a playlist on that. Profit First, Customer Service. So they should check out the different playlists that we have there also on the channel.
yeah, the YouTube playlists are awesome. Go and watch all those. Um, the playlist I was most excited about that absolutely went nowhere was Neil's tips for professional salespeople. Nobody watched it, so I guess everybody's already a professional. But that's a really great playlist as well. It's got, I mean, honestly, what we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes has really been covered in those videos.
For sure.
Um, but we want to do like a podcast type thing once a week. We're going to probably start with this live stream format, and then we might do like an official podcast where it actually goes out into the podcast networks and channels and stuff. But have some guests come in, things like that. But this is kind of what we're doing. Still shoot our YouTube videos. We love doing 2 to 3 videos a week. Somebody on LinkedIn says, "Where can I find your videos?" So Sigalit, you go to YouTube and go to Matterhorn Business Development, and you'll see our logo. It's over my dad's shoulder there with the blue mountain. Go to Matterhorn Business Development, subscribe. We're still growing. We do 3 videos a week. A lot of people I talk to are like, "Oh yeah, I watched a couple of your videos. They're really good. You should do more." And I'm like, "You do know that we do 3 a week, right?" "You do?" "Yes, we do 3 every week, other than Christmas time." We were all going our own separate ways, so we pre-recorded a bunch in December. But yeah, we start filming again next Monday. So be sure, Sigalit, you subscribe and watch some of our content. Share it with your friends, whatever. I
I just
mean,
want to give a shout out to the Neelys. I don't know if you're seeing their comments here.
yeah,
The Neelys present Grandma's Wealth Wisdom.
yeah.
That sounds amazing. So, and it sounds like you've already checked out our Profit First playlist. So, just want to say welcome to the Neelys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Do you know the Neelys?
No,
No,
but
me neither.
anybody
Welcome.
that has a channel of Grandma's Wealth Wisdom, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to subscribe to Grandma's Wealth Wisdom.
Subscribe to Grandma's. The Neelys present Grandma's Wealth Wisdom. We appreciate you guys watching. You probably found us through Profit First, because that's where you said, "I like your Profit First playlist." Thank you very much. I admittedly have nothing to do with the Profit First playlist. I am a standing by during those film sessions. Profit First is definitely my dad, Greg, here, and Abby. I just realized I should probably. I'm such a bad host. I need to add my name to. All it says is Neil. I'm like, people don't know who this Neil guy is. I got a last name. I gotta flaunt it. There we go. Um,
I think they probably assumed that it was the same as mine.
I did teach you everything you know. Um, yeah, admittedly, the Profit First playlist on our channel, I have nothing to do with because my dad and Abby are the Profit First professionals. I am the mouthpiece and the pretty face. I'm a professional public speaker. I love training and working with people with sales. So I'm usually doing the other videos and the other topics. My channel, my videos are usually our business newsroom, where we take random business advice or articles or talk about things about business and talk about them. We talk about Yelp, Google, Uber. We've slammed Uber 5 million times, even though everybody thinks we're on the Uber payroll. I still haven't gotten my Uber check this year. Have you gotten yours yet, Dad?
No, I think they're holding out on us.
They must be holding out on us. So anyway, they still owe us a bunch of money for all the good things we said about them. So anyway, that's my role here and all this, and we're looking forward for 2021. I know most people are looking forward to 2021 because they can't wait for this crap year to be over with. We're looking forward to 2021 because, it's just another day and it's another time to get out there and create and have fun
Yep.
and do something different. I will say 2020 did get me 2 new businesses that I never thought I would have.
Mhm.
Not only do I have my water company, but I have another business that was supposed to launch in March, and then because of the pandemic didn't start until October. But I never would have actually had those without the coronavirus crap.
That's right.
So in a sense, there is positives in the crap. I would still rather have it not had to go through all of it, but I did create 2 businesses out of it, and those businesses are going to be my future. So I'm happy with it. Paul Kuva on LinkedIn asks where to get profit first. Well, Paul,
Hey,
just
Paul,
go
thanks for
to
joining.
just
So this
yep.
is the author, Mike Michalowicz. So I've been to Mike's house. He's a very good guy. He knows Greg and Abby. We're certified Profit First professionals. This is the most recent version. You can get it on Amazon. It's also audio. The audio version, the author reads himself. He's a very funny guy. The original version has a pink piggy bank on the cover. So be sure and get the one with this cover. Amazon.
And while you're on Amazon, there's something important. They have another book they have to buy as well. Which move your camera if you can, because there you go.
Get that one.
Look at that guy on that book. That's a good looking guy.
He's so good looking. And Neil, maybe someday your hair will turn all white like mine.
Don't say that. I got one big one up here that shows itself, and I'm trying to cut it with
Anyway, you're welcome. You're welcome, Paul.
Yeah, so go to Amazon, pick up Fun at Work. You can get the paperback or hardback. The audiobook is there as well. But then while you're there, go to get Fun at Work by Dr. Greg Winteregg. If you get the audiobook, it gets narrated by this guy with this amazing voice named Greg, and he voice acts different characters in certain sections. So get the audiobook and you get the full experience of Greg actually narrating his book.
Oh, thank you, Paul. You've read the book already. Awesome. Paul, you and I go back how long, man? 20 years? Quite a ways. So nice for being on the call tonight.
Awesome. The Neelys say they're going to get the audiobook. Awesome. Make sure you get the Fun at Work audiobook. I don't know which audiobook you're talking about, but if you get the Fun at Work audiobook, you'll pick up 2 new subscribers to your YouTube channel tonight. So how's that? You can buy me.
Well, I think we've kind of beat this horse a little dead, haven't we?
Yeah. I had a
I
lot of fun
want to thank
tonight.
everybody. Thank everybody who joined us tonight. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. And I did get an agreement about my pretty face, so that's excellent. Sigali, you're excellent. If you're watching this later, hit the link to buy Fun at Work down below. You can also subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the like button. And also, if we do start doing a weekly stream, I would like to have some topics about what people want to hear about. We threw this together just during the holidays of, hey, we need to do a live stream. Oh, you're good tonight? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. And then we literally were like, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. And but we can also do set topics or answer questions that you have. So if you have something you want us to talk about, leave some comments in the comment section of whichever platform you're watching this on. We are live streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and we're actually getting comments from all three. So
Nice.
that's good. But leave some comments down below. We'll try and get back to you next week. We will post about when our next one is going to be, and we'll get this into a little bit of a regular rotation. But thank you all very much for watching, and have fun at work. Have fun tomorrow. Do not take things too seriously. All right. Don't stress out about things that you can't control, which is we're being reminded every day in the news about all the things you can't control and you can't do anything about. So forget about that. Read Fun at Work rather than watching the news or the newspaper, and life will be a lot easier and a lot more fun. So thank you all very much. We are signing off. Dad, you have to do the patented thumbs up.
2.
Oh, 2 thumbs ups. All right, good. We will see you all next time.